biracial, but also bittersweet, because I know there's a tendency to group all African artists under Afrobeat.
From the time I was very young, I was teased about being biracial. That was one of the first things I dealt with.
You can profit from the look by posing, alongside models that have darker skin and rock afros that don't suit your texture. However, there is abrupt quiet when it comes to identifying your race. People were pretty agitated over that, because the industry loves non-black women as the face of blackness. They wanted Tyler to simply state that she was black. People feel more comfortable wanting someone who isn't truly black. Here's the reality though. Without the afro, you cannot have Afro beats or anything Afro. The entire foundation of the culture is being erased by DJs who spin these genres while still showcasing a majority of mixed musicians. Next came the online debate tile. Some said she wasn't accepted by African American ladies. Tyler's numbers speak for themselves, so that's crazy. It appeared to me more like a staged diaspora conflict designed to create drama than genuine opposition. People have the right to express their dislike for Tyler on the internet. Others said it became xenophobic, but I didn't see it happen, so I avoided it. Here's the problem though. Even though Tyla's music isn't Afro rhythms, she recently received her second VMA for Best Afro Song. The genre has its own origins and originated in West Africa. However, the business behaves as though Afro rhythms are synonymous with any African sound. Giving Fantasia the title of Best Rapper when she doesn't even rap is equivalent to that. The true meaning of Afrobeats is obscured by this careless naming. And no, Tyler is not to blame. The true issue is award shows that continue to be antiquated and uneducated.
Afrobeats has run things and has opened so many doors for us. African music is so diverse. It's more than just Afrobeats.
Sasaki. Tim's, Mooley, Burna Boy, and others were in the lineup that Tyler defeated. Giants are defeated by real Afros. Consider their feelings when they saw a non-black person win 2 consecutive titles in a West African-born genre. The sole black woman in that group, Tim's, who was disregarded in a place her people established, comes to mind in particular. This has nothing to do with Tyler. Rather, it has to do with her marketing. Black women are continuously marginalized by society. Particularly in misogyny and African art already prevent them from being regarded with the same respect as black males. Include colorism and the fixation on women who are racially ambiguous as the embodiment of blackness. For African ladies with darker skin, it's even more difficult. Global success is typically used to describe someone who is racially ambiguous, able to pass for anyone and fit into any situation. Early in her career, Rihanna even acknowledged how difficult it was to navigate her identity.
I remember looking up to people like Mariah Carey, and the most I identified with her in so many ways. You know, she was biracial.
I'm a black woman. I come from a black woman who came from a black woman who came from a black woman.
Declaring a blended identity was considered a sign of high status in the early 2000s. Even those without mixed ancestry feigned it. It turned around by the 2000s. All of a sudden, being black was cool. And many people who had previously turned away from it began to lean completely in. Tyler's identity strikes a different chord as a result. She freely asserts that she is mixed when claiming blackness. As Cardi B, Amber Rose, and even Rihanna did when it helped their careers, would have been the more lucrative path. Promoting racially ambiguous ladies as black has long been a music star's formula because it works. However, Tyla's decision to continue with mixed provided her with additional security. It exploits the traditional sad mulatto cliché by depicting her as the naive victim, who was allegedly harassed by lewdies of color. And once that story takes hold, she is defended as innocent, while black women are portrayed as envious attackers. I recall Tyler posing in a very chromatic manner with dark-skinned males during a photo session. To be honest, her marketing strategy changes based on the target audience. For the promotion of her Asia tour, the styling occasionally gave off an East Asian or even South Asian touch. She then appears with kinky afros or box braids, which aren't even her texture when she's trying to reach an urban audience. That's the issue. She will use dark-skinned people as props or borrow from blackness, but she avoids being probed about her color. Why? because the marketed answer isn't her true response, because the business loves to portray non-black women as the epitome of blackness. They wanted her to claim to be black. People feel more comfortable appreciating someone who isn't truly black. It makes me think of a dispute on Twitter that went viral. People swore that an Italian girl must be mixed when she posted a picture of herself. They forced her to acknowledge being black and compared her to lad heritage. People was disappointed when she declared, "I'm 100% Italian," since they had hoped she would identify as black in order to defend their attraction. It is obvious that the American market wants Tyler to identify as black. But it is dishonest to blame black women for this pressure. Let's face it, her team, which probably consists primarily of black men, creates her image. Additionally, there was a black male, not a woman, who even asked Tyla if she was black. This is why the narrative feels forced, being packaged as some underdog victim of anti-blackness to boost her career. When in reality, African women are the ones who are loved in the US by African-American women and men. Suddenly, if people don't like her, critics cry xenophobia. But look at Tang and A Star, who are both West African and rock their features proudly. No one claims there is xenophobia when it comes to them, as though temperatures and era stars had already been accepted. Tyla is being portrayed as the face of a difficulty that she doesn't truly confront, which is just plain clumsy marketing. Although Tyla may encounter xenophobia due to her non-American status, her experience differs from that of black Africans. Due to colorism, texturism, and futurism, non-black and racially ambiguous persons frequently enjoy privilege in Africa. This enormous treatment gap is frequently disregarded. The web narrative that accuses Aristar of copying Tyler is absurd. That's tricky because Tyler was originally introduced to me by Aristar, but the time was already more well-known throughout the world. They even worked together, which led to Tyler's breakthrough. How, therefore, could Era be defrauding her? The unsettling reality is that some of Tyla's supporters xenophobic and even colorist. Many of them, though not all of them, exalt her merely because she is racially ambiguous and like a pop star. Black women frequently face hostility from that kind of fan culture. Therefore, it's absurd to see people make fun of an Era star for donning short skirts or tank tops, which Tyler also wears. Tyler is being ignored while black women are being policed. The conversation became heated. Clowns pretending to be Nigerians say they aspire to be us. It seems as though the Era celebrity would always be the one to steal from Tyla rather than the other way around. That's absurd because the Era usually danced in her own style and wore short dresses. However, all of a sudden, even her waist movements are referred to as Tyla mimicking. Talking like that irritates me and demonstrates how, rather than allowing both to shine, Tyler's fanbase frequently sets her against black women. Now contrast this with Camo, a prolific amapiano performer who consistently releases viral hits. In fact, Camo had a track that pulled more streams when the water blew up, but she didn't receive the same push. Why? Due to Tyla's advantages in colorism, slim privilege, and texturism, she is the world's great choice. Additionally, it hurts, since Amapiano's dark-skinned women are hardly given any recognition. Because Amapiano is a black art form, here is where the industry and DJs are complicit. However, such reality is rarely reflected in the faces that are presented. Playing Tyla on repeat is the standard for South African music at a lot of events. Amapiano is no different. While ignoring the black South Africans who truly created the genre, DJs rely on her library. The townships of Johannesburg are where Amapiano was born. The word piano itself is derived from Zulu. Why not highlight the artists that embodied the black past that it is based on? Even though Tyler dabbles in Amapiano, the genre is still black. However, African music's global image keeps becoming more mixed, lighter, or whiter. It's not limited to South Africa either. Take a look at Jamaica. Shania is pushed when the topic of worldwide dancehall is brought up. Legends who are older, darker, spice, and who are entirely Jamaican, however, do not have the same machine behind them. Talent isn't the issue. Clearly, these women possess it. However, the increased push, marketing power, and worldwide exposure nearly always work in favor of the mixed or lighter-skinned ladies. and that is the recurring theme in all genres. Although they enjoy spinning African music, DJs typically play a variety of songs from each nation. Therefore, actively seeking out black artists with darker skin tones is essential. Since they are the originators of various genres, it is important to preserve their roots. All African music gets flattened into Afro rhythms by the VMAs. It's depriving the genre of its heritage. Without the Afro, you cannot have Afro beats, Afro-Brazilian, or anything Afro. Examine Rigotin. Its face across the world is Bad Bunny. However, some even assert that he is black, even though this is obviously untrue. He resembles Adam Sandler's twin more than anything else. Black Latin America does not look like that. Dark-skinned artists are marginalized in Brazil, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic, while lighter-skinned mixed faces are more prevalent. This eraser is purposeful and worldwide. When in doubt, choose the blackest option, because that's where the culture starts, as Amber Abundant so eloquently stated. Was Tyler truly deserving of that honor? Or do you believe that the industry once again played favorites? And what are your thoughts on the undervaluation of other artists? Leave a comment below with your opinions. Your thoughts on this drama would be greatly appreciated. We appreciate you watching, and for the most recent Hollywood news, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to Basecraft. Additionally, stay put if you want more. You can find a lot more celebrity tea right here.